Here's another big issue with like every single TV that's on the market, almost on the market outside of this TV, or at least for 2022. The bottom TV is starting to dim. It's starting to dim right now, okay? The top TV is just holding that brightness so much better. And this is also an issue with the S95B. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're watching your content, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Why do people keep on complaining about the TV the brightness dimming out? You know, I have no idea. YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, TKK, and we are back with another video. Listen, let me give you some meat and potatoes about the substance of this video today. Below, we have the 2022 55 class LG C2 OLED. Above, we have the 2022 65 class Alpha 90 King from Sony. Let me modify the exposure a little bit. As of right now, I have this set on just my camera's default. The Sony from the viewfinder, as far as I can tell, looks completely blown out where I can't really make out the differences. I just put my exposure to a -2 just to try to pinpoint clarity and such a little bit more. Let me tell you what I'm seeing though, and I'm hoping that this camera right now, with me having the exposure set the way that it is, will give a better representation of what I'm seeing. Both of these TVs are using a Amazon 4K Fire Stick. This model to be specific. Let me turn the exposure up so that you can see. This is the model Fire Stick that's plugged to both of these televisions, okay? I'm gonna turn the exposure back down. So this is a device that's connected to each of these TVs. It's not split. They both have one plugged into their HDMI ports. Both of these TVs do feature Dolby Vision, which I absolutely love. And it's one of the reasons why the Fire Stick 4K is my personal preference. These things were just on sale in the United States at a lot of retailers for $25. I think it's a great media device, but I digress because I'm not advertising that product. There's no links in the bio or anything like that for you to click. I'm just telling you that's what I like to use. Now, both of these TVs have a vivid base preset. The LG does not look anywhere near how I like for this TV to look, okay? The colors on the Sony right now in this photo that we're looking at, or this scene that we're looking at, the Sony colors look, listen, the guy that's impersonating the painter, he looks more pink on the Sony, and I think that's exactly how he's supposed to look. He doesn't look as pink on the LG. My text on the Sony is also sharper, and I have the sharpness on default setting on both of these TVs. So this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about a few things with these two TVs and even the S95B. When I start getting to my talking points in the next segment after I roll my intro, I want you guys to just try to pay attention to how you feel when I say certain things. Like when I mention certain things to you, just tell me how you feel. Just think about what it is you're feeling when I say certain things, when I start talking about the Samsung, the LG, and the Sony, and then I just want you to try to articulate it as best as you can. Keep it in mind, guys, going forward, we're gonna have talking points about your comments. So I'm gonna roll my intro. We're gonna get right into this. All right, guys, as I said, welcome back. So what I'm gonna do right now, I still have the exposure set on -2. It just shows the Sony more as the way that it does actually look, okay? Because both of these TVs are here. I don't know if the camera's having a harder time focusing on one or the other. But what I wanna do really quick is just go down to the settings for the LG and get it set where I need it to be. As I said, it's got the Dolby Vision picture mode on, and it's on a vivid preset. Cinema Home is what I already calibrated this TV to be like. Another setting that I do use on this TV is to reduce the blue light. This is how I like for this TV to look if I'm gonna be watching content. Now, let me be perfectly clear. This television, by this television, we're talking about the C2 that's down below, is a TV that I use as a primary gaming TV. This TV sits about 6 feet, maybe 5 feet away from me, head to screen. And so it puts me in a position where I have an amazing gaming experience, and I think it looks really, really good. But these settings, I have customized my settings, but the preset that you just seen me activate are the same settings that I used when I did this TV versus the Sony Alpha 90 King. I do have that in 48 class, and I'll card in a video at some point for that. Feel free to check the catalog of content if you need to see more on that TV. The Sony TV above the Alpha 95 King also has a vivid preset. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to raise this up a little bit just so that I can make sure that you can see the settings, right? The preset for the Sony is already set to where I want, but the picture mode I have on vivid. We're gonna go Dolby Vision bright. This is how I love for this TV to look. Now, again, I'll have to play this content back, and hopefully it'll show you guys more of a better representation instead of the image quality being blown out. But this Sony just looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks so good, just so much more detail. And even looking at my daughter's icon, obviously that's her name, Celestial. We call her Leslie. But looking at the icon, the white on there, it punches so much more versus the LG. So it's just those subtle little differences. Let me get some content loaded on both of these. All right, so just so we are perfectly clear, my intention with this video is just to have some talking points with you guys. I am not a professional calibrator. I am every bit of regular, just like you guys. I just happen to buy TVs regularly that I can enjoy for myself and for my household. Now, what I've got set up on this is Plex. Plex is the default application that I like to personally use for me to stream my own content. All of the content that you see right now in front of you is content that I physically have loaded or digitally have loaded onto a physical hard drive that I have into a dedicated computer. I use this computer to stream from my mobile devices, tablets, and all the smart TVs in my household. I even set my mother up north so that she could be able to watch Plex, watch my server anytime she wanted to. So if I'm interested in seeing some content, I get that content loaded in that stat. So I just wanted to kind of give you a breakdown as to what you're looking at. Someone have asked me before what this application is. This is Plex. There's tons of free content. There's some live content that you can utilize that you don't have to spend any money on. But this is a application that's designed for you to be able to essentially control your own content. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let me just tell you how I've enjoyed some of my day. I've spent about 3 hours watching this show, Chicago MED or Chicago Med. This show, as you can see, came out in 2016. Now, it's been a great watch. I've watched it a couple of episodes in my bedroom, which I currently have the 2019 C9 OLED. That guy has got like 13,000 plus hours on it. Some image retention starting to settle in on it, but I've watched a couple of episodes there. I've watched a couple of episodes on my C1. I have it in 77, and I spent a few episodes of watch time on the all new Sony Alpha 95 King. And let me tell you, I really, really enjoyed it on the Alpha 95 King. Now, the Samsung is in a place where I have no desire to watch content, to force myself, because I don't have a Fire Stick. And if I don't have a Fire Stick on my TVs, chances are I'm not going to watch TV, because I just love the way that the interface and everything works with the Fire Stick versus messing around with Tizen or the Google TV with the Sony or even WebOS. Like, I love the way that the Google TV and the WebOS function from a perspective of me being able to modify picture settings, but I'm not so much of a fan of using either of these for apps and things of that sort. And it's not that they don't work good, it's just that I really enjoy the Fire Stick, which is why in the beginning of the video I showed you that and just kind of explained that piece to you guys. Now, I don't know how much of this content I can play, but I'm gonna tell you guys that this Sony looks absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, we got a couple of seconds there. We're gonna see if I get a strike or anything, I'm not sure. But just looking at the detail, let me just explain to you some of the things that I'm seeing. Now, keeping in mind, the camera is probably going to look dim. I haven't reviewed the footage yet. So if I do put this up, then I played it back on my Samsung G8 Neo monitor, and it looks good enough to me. You guys can definitely critique me, but I hope you understand my point is just to try to give you some conversation around the image quality. We talked before about me not just putting stills on here. And so as you guys mention things, I will try to modify how I put my videos up. But right now, speaking similarly to when I was talking about the Amazon logo a couple of transitions ago, with the artist on the left for my account, this person up top has more pink on her skin, right? And this is on a Sony. Now, keeping in mind, neither of these are in any type of vivid. Let me just modify this exposure a little bit. If I take it to the default, the 0, there we are. I think we can see that pretty good, right? I think we can see that pretty good. So this is my camera's default, right? See what happened? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't save it. There we go. Now we're saved. So yeah, even so with me doing that, the woman up top, or the picture up top, the Alpha 95 King, there's more of a pinkish to her skin tone, right? I don't know if this has anything to do with Sony's technology with the processor or anything like that. Keeping in mind, last year when I got Alpha 90 Jasper and 55, I got that for my small kids. I didn't get that TV for me to utilize, right? So I didn't really dive into a lot of settings and things like that. Like I set it and it's pretty much been their TV. But it looks really good. I can tell you that. And listen, guys, what I'm about to say is just keeping it 100% with you guys. All right. The LG looks great too. It looks absolutely good too. Her shirt, now keep it in mind, these are presets and modified presets that I have for me. However you decide to calibrate, soft calibrate, or professionally calibrate your TV, it's going to be your business, not my business, but your business, right? But for me, the LG looks great. Now, when I was doing my comparisons to the LG versus the Samsung, when I set them both at a similar setting, I personally felt that the LG had more of a realistic color to it. It was only after the update that I got on the Samsung that I felt that the Samsung started to look more, I hate to say real because I hate that, but it just started to look more natural. That's the best choice of words that I can really utilize for it. It wasn't until this update that everyone says broke the Samsung that I personally felt that it looked more like the LG. And that's not to say that prior to that, it didn't blow it away, because with the highlights and all of this and that, it absolutely did. But the Samsung looks great, in my opinion. However, this LG, as I'm comparing it to this Sony, looking at this image, now I haven't seen much of this episode, so I'm not going to run much of this. I want to be able to sit and enjoy this and watch this, right? The LG looks good. Her shirt looks more dingy. Her shirt definitely is not dirty. This is a professional doctor or whomever she is. Her shirt looks clean. That thing has been bleached. It's clean on the Sony. It looks a little bit more dirty on the LG. And her skin, it doesn't look as pink, right? I mean, like it doesn't look as, the pop in the color isn't there as much. I hope I'm making sense to you guys, but the Sony definitely has everything. It's just there. Even her hair, when I'm looking at her hair, like I can see more highlights in her hair, and it's got nothing to do, guys, with like the angle of the camera or anything like that. Like I'm here looking at this. The picture looks good on the bottom, but the top, it has so much more details. Like I can see gray strands in her hair. I can see them on the bottom when I really pay attention to it, but the top is showing me a reference. It is a reference. It is what I should be looking for, right? Based on what I should be looking for with that reference, this is what I'm going to be looking to make sure that I can see on the bottom. But the initial piece, the top is going to show me that it may have something to do with the peak nits of brightness, or how the quantum dot would articulate the light with the color. I'm not sure. You guys tell me what you think on this scene. Here's another big issue with like every single TV that's on the market, almost on the market outside of this TV, or at least for 2022. The bottom TV is starting to dim. It's starting to dim right now, okay? The top TV is just holding that brightness so much better. And this is also an issue with the S95B. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're watching your content, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Why do people keep on complaining about the TV the brightness dimming out? You know, I have no idea. As I pull that image back up now, it's showing brighter. Screensaver was coming on in the previous transition, but I don't know why people realistically feel that they need to complain about the brightness. It, in my opinion, obviously is set there to protect the panel, to put you in some kind of position where you can. Now, if there's a way to go in and turn them off, I'm all for that, definitely. I get warranties on my TV, and so I feel like I should be able to use my TV in a way where I'm not being concerned with whatever the manufacturer is going to deem me damaging the TV, or not damaging the TV, but being abusive to the TV. I don't buy my TVs to put condoms on them. And I hope you understand the analogy. Like, I want to be able to run them. The Sony, like I said, you know, with just the way that it's built with the heat sink and everything, it articulates the image more consistently. But I don't see that people would have an issue with pausing content. Like, if you pause content, when you go to play it again, it's gonna pick back up. This is, however, an issue when you are doing certain things like, you know, being on a PC, or even like in Vincent's video, the TV detected that it was a loop. So even though you had motion going on and there was content being played, it dimmed out on the Samsung, and it did not do that on the Sony, where it took a much longer time for the Sony to do it. And that, I mean, that's just some of the things that, you know, you come to expect with the Sony over everything else. Martin.
Girl in the knife.
All right, now there's something to be said right here. So when I'm looking at the on air, might have to turn this down a little bit. I'm sorry. Let me see. I'm looking at the viewfinder, and I can't really tell if you guys can make this out or not, but for now, I'm going to leave this at -2. All right. So the sign that says on the air up top, pure white. I'm talking cocaine, as is the paper that's on his desk. And there, that ray of light that's coming from, you know, whatever door is open is shining bright on that. That is all highlight. However, personal opinion, I like the way the red looks on this LG. The what's up, the WZUP, I love the way that orange-ish yellow looks. Also, that red highlight to the right of the what's up sign. Listen, that looks good on this LG. It looks better than it does on the Sony to me. Listen, my opinion. I want to speak in a way where I'm respecting you, but this is not a shot at the Sony. Obviously, I got both of these TVs. But in this scene right here, this old ass content, this is old as hell. You know, I can see where there's obviously peak brightness and highlights are kicking the snot out of the LG up top, like the on air sign. But I'm also looking at the colors. Now, keeping in mind, the C2 is a gaming TV for me, guys. I love looking at colors on this thing. So it looks the way exactly how I want it to look. At this point, it's biased, right? Because it's not about what looks more organic, what looks more real. It looks the hell like I want it to look. And so I totally get it when you guys are looking at the Samsung, and if you want that, what we call punch, pop, hey, go for it. I want a great balance. I want to be able to see highlights, colors the way I want them to be. If I can tweak it a little bit, I want to get in there and tweak it. But I'm going to keep it real, and I'm not going to make this video much longer. This Sony TV is separated, completely segregated from everything else, because out of the box, you mess with presets, you put literally a preset, and this thing is going to cook everything next to it. Get in the comments. Let's have a conversation. We will make another video. We got more content to shoot around the LG C2 OLED, as it's going to be going back on my desk. This is going to be a busy day for me. I'm going to get this content rendered, get it posted. I'm going to be waiting to see what you guys got to say so we can talk again. Catch you on the next one. Peace. God bless, and max love.